Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial on how to use Autodesk Fusion 360. Today we'll be going through joints. And this is a very important part of Fusion 360 because this is how you can actually animate things and see how your product is going to work in the end, especially if it has moving parts, obviously. Now, okay, so this is what we did in last class, right? So last tutorial. So we made the handle that time and then we just built the shaft on top of it. Now what I'm going to do today is I'm going to animate, no, not animate, I'm going to apply joints to these so we can actually see how both of these move. Let's get started. First things first, if we go back and look at the drawing, you see that it needs to be tilted 20 degrees. So that's what we're going to do first. Let me go back to Fusion. Now, to do this, I'm just going to hit M on my keyboard for move copy. Go right, and I'm going to select that roughly, and let's just move this 20 degrees. Perfect. Okay. Now, that's what that's looking like. That's perfectly fine. Now, first things first, whenever you're doing a joint, always make sure one component is grounded. The way Fusion's joints works is it puts a joint relative to one component. So if you have two ungrounded components, basically two free moving components, you might get a situation where it applies the joint to a wrong component. Like, for example, if I'm applying a joint between this handle and the main body, it might apply the moving part, like it might move the body instead of the handle. So you might have a stationary handle and it might animate the entire body moving clockwise or anti-clockwise. So first thing is to ground your main component. Here's the main body. So right click on the main body, and at the top it'll say ground. Just click on that. Perfect. That's exactly what we need. Now this thing can't move. If you try to move it, it can't, even though it's a component. Now we can go into building joints. So if you have a component that's already put into place, like I have with the handle, then what you can do is you can go down to assemble and click on as built joint. Now as built joint puts the joint as the thing is built. So if it's built in this position, it will apply the joint as such. Now what I'm going to do is first is select the joint type. So here I want it to move around. So I don't want it rigid because that just locks them together. Revolute is what I want because it rotates around the joint origin. And then there are a bunch of other joints. You can go ahead and look at them in your own time. I'm going to select revolute, and I want this component, this handle, and the main body. Now it's asking me for a position. Where do I want it to revolute? Basically, with an as-built joint, just select it anywhere on the joint axis that you want to you want it to revolve around. So I'm gonna select like right there on the plane, on the handle, and if you look from the side, that is exactly in the middle over there. And this is exactly what I want. So now it's rotating. You can animate it if you want to see. And it's also going in the right direction as well. If it's not going the right direction for you, that's perfectly fine. You don't need to bother about that because we can fix it. Press OK. And now, if you look at this, you can see that you can actually grab onto the handle and rotate it, which is really cool. Yeah, that's perfect. Now let's revert this and let's apply a joint to this. Now I want to teach you something else about joints. I want to teach you about the actual just joint option. What this does is, if you have components lying around, like you can see that pop up, it aligns the components in their right positions. And I'm going to do that right here. So just for the sake of illustrating how this works, I'm going to take this shaft, and just move it on the side. I'm going to capture the position. So now this is right here. It can't do anything. It's not in the correct position. So I'm going to click joint, right? And I get this weird pop-up. Now what I want to do here is I want to first select the motion. So I want to select slider here. Slider means it can go up and down or can slide in one certain axis. On this component, I am going to select a certain place. So I have three options here where I can select it. I'm going to select the middle because that kind of makes sense. And on this one now, I need to select one. So you're trying to align these two weird circles, I don't know what you call them, together. So this one, let's say I want it somewhere down there maybe. I'm going to click there, right? And it's actually aligned the components there. Now, as you can see, it's actually, it works. And there's a slider there, and everything's aligned. I wouldn't bother too much about that yet, but we can actually fix this right here. If I'm going to take a side view over here and click on that part, I can offset this a little bit, like maybe that much. And I'm going to go ahead and press OK. Now I have a slider, and I can actually grab this and I can move it around. Right? Perfect. This is exactly what I want. I'm going to revert position for now. That works, thank you. That seems right. Yeah, that seems perfect, because now I have two joints where this one moves like that, and this one moves like that. What I'm going to do in the next video is show you how joint limits work, as in how to restrict this so it can only move up that much and not and only move up to like there and not go all the way down. And then I'm also going to teach you how to like sync both the joints together, so when I revolve this, that revolves as well. That's it for this one, and thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like the video. Thank you. See you in the next one.